Wednesday, and it's time to come in and share with my beautiful soul sister Jen Pillipow. She's she's just an amazing soul, and we're going to have some fun talking about spirituality in business and how does that all work together. Today we have a very interesting topic, and it is, I've entitled it Prey or Predator. So come on in. We're talking business, spirituality. Are they separate? Are they together? And what does prey and predator have to do with business? What does it have to do with business? So today we're going to have a conversation around the topic of prey and predator. And I just want to say that it's just something that I really just been really sitting with. Not saying that I have the answers. I'm just like, let's have an open conversation about it, because I think it's really worth exploring. And I know, so let's just dive into the natural world, prey and predator, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do we know about that? So what are your thoughts? What comes to you when you're thinking about prey and predator?
Okay, so I'm going to back up first and say that I have thought a lot about this in different terms. I've thought more about, when it comes to business, the difference between being relational and being transactional. So in the past, I've thought a lot about the difference between being transactional and being relational in your business. And so when you started talking about prey and predator, immediately my mind went to, oh yes, I understand how you're talking about predator, because I relate that to being kind of more transactional with people and just extracting and just taking and not working together and not thinking collectively. Mm-hmm. And you and I had a great conversation about prey yesterday, and I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that, because I was like, the only thing that I'm where I'm losing the metaphor is with prey, like, because as in business, like, I don't want to be like a sitting duck. And then you beautifully explained to me, and go ahead, I'll let you use your words here, but it was helpful.
But what I think what I was sharing about prey is that when we look at the natural world, first of all, we need to really understand that we need both prey and predator. Mm-hmm. We need both in the natural world, because without prey, predator wouldn't exist. And there was different levels of prey and predator, right? Mm-hmm. You can go from the mosquito to the frog to the, like, there's food for everybody. So when we think about that in the concept of food, there's lots of food for everybody in the eco world. So if one is out of balance, if you don't have enough prey for, let's say you don't have enough rabbits for your coyotes, right? Then your coyotes will die. Mm-hmm. And let's say that you don't have any coyotes, then your cougars and your big cats will die. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody really plays a really big part in the big picture of the world, like in our earth, right? So it's like, it's super, super important. Getting back to the natural world, we need both. We need both prey and we need predator. Like, that's absolutely important. So how does that relate? I don't know. Did I answer your question? Did we talk about that yesterday? I don't even remember, to be honest with you. It's like, oh. So we were talking about prey and predator, and I think that it's really important that in the natural world, we need both, right? We need both. And they have different characteristics for each other in prey or predator. So Jen's going to come back here in a minute.
So let me prompt you a little bit. So you were sharing about how sometimes prey will sacrifice themselves.
Yes. So what happens is prey will actually sacrifice itself for predator. So here's the thing, like, if we understand the nature is smart, right? Like, Mother Earth and all of her children are so smart. And we know when things are out of balance. So what will happen is prey will actually come in and offer itself to predator so that it can create balance. And there's a beautiful, beautiful indigenous story, and I honestly I don't remember from what peoples it is, but I'll just share. I'll try to paraphrase as much as I can. I just want to paraphrase a little bit, and it was about a particular tribe, a village that was really starving. They really had a problem, like they were dying. And they talk about the spirit of the medicine of the deer. So the white deer woman comes to an elder and says, "Take me, like I'll feed your community." And often, like that's kind of the gist of the story, but I mean, often nature will do that. And even in shamanic practices, we will, there are some shamans, like when you think about the traditional way of hunting, you would get your whole community, the hunters would get ready to go hunting for the whole community, and the shaman will journey to the spirit of the animals, to the herd, because herds are one consciousness. So they would actually journey to the herd and they would talk to the spirit. Let's say it's the buffalo. And they would say, "Our tribe is in need of food for the winter. Are there any of you that are willing to sacrifice yourself for us?" And it would have a conversation with the spirit of the buffalo. And there may be an exchange that needs to happen, but when the men would go hunting, and that typically was the men, they would go hunting, and the buffalo, maybe it was the older buffalo, maybe it was a young one, whatever it was, would offer themselves for the community. So there's this beautiful thing that happens in nature that often we are completely unaware. So
okay,
yeah,
all right. So I love the
good.
analogy
Okay.
Of it being, okay, prey and predator. So help me bridge it a little bit more between business and prey. So if we're not being, like a predator in our business and using some of those well, just say maybe more marketing styles, if we're not doing that, bridge for me how we're being a prey in our business. How are we offering ourselves up for community? Is that what you mean, or am I missing another piece of it?
Okay. No, I love it. So I'm going to take a step back now. So this concept came to me in some training that I've been doing with attraction marketing. Basically, and we'll specifically talk about the network marketing industry. There are two ways that you can approach network marketing. And one is you can be more predatorial, meaning that you are hunting. It's like you are hunting, possible customers. You're like asking everybody. You're sharing with everybody. You're like, you're having conversations with, and you're going through, and you're like constantly messaging them or whatever. I mean, there's different ways to do network marketing, and so that more selling sort of principle would be would fall more into the predator kind of way, because you're constantly approaching, you're constantly sharing, right?
Yeah.
And so the prey method then in network marketing would be really about, to me, it's almost a more feminine energy.
Yeah.
It feels like a more receptive energy. It's less masculine. Masculine is action, go, get it, right?
Yeah.
Typically. And we need both. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We need the masculine energy, that predator energy, to get ourselves motivated, right? But then we also can tap into our more prey energy. So in this teachings that I've been receiving, it's all about prey is about attracting. It's about adding value. So it's done on social media. It's about what you and I are doing right now. We're having a conversation and we are sharing our wisdom. We're sharing our teachings. It's going to resonate with somebody, right? And so we are adding value to the pains, the sufferings, the worries, the fears, that we have something to share about these things. So we're addressing spirituality in business, right? Like these are things that people struggle with. It's like, how do I become spiritual? So we are more, it's about attraction. extracting and adding value, right? It's like, that's what we're doing. And then it's about influencing through the knowledge and the skills that we have. Mm-hmm. And then you make that enrollment. You are then bringing that person into your community, right? So it's way more, I want to say passive. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what comes to me. Transformational, translatable as opposed to transactional, right? Like that's, to me, is how we could take that concept into business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And I also love how we're paralleling it to nature and how nature works. So our business, how can it be more like nature? How can it give and take? How is it doing and intuition? And holding these different dichotomies as one. Because, you know, when I first got into business, I was taught by a business coach to do things one very specific way. And it was very much just doing, forcing, pushing, and left out all the other pieces. And so what I love about what you're saying is that, no, we're bringing it, it's this and this. It's all of it, and working together and collaborating. And it is more passive in that way because, it's more just being authentically you. It's just basically allowing yourself to be you and showing up, and then allowing that to attract what it attracts naturally.
Yeah. But the word that was coming to me when you were sharing, Jen, was reciprocity.
Yeah. I keep, in my mind, I just keep seeing garden with pollinators, with different weeds and different vegetables and different plants, but just like this big, busy garden, just full of life, and everything helping everything else.
Reciprocity, right? So, I mean, our very breath is reciprocity to nature, right? Because the trees need our carbon monoxide. Like, that's the very nature of what we are. And so when we look at our business, is how do we operate in the space of reciprocity, right? Like, how do we serve in that space?
Okay. And
serving comes from adding value.
Okay. Yeah. So the analogy is actually network marketing, because it's like being in community with other people and helping them helps you.
Yeah, you were talking about community. And I think what's important to underline here is we have to, so that whole idea of pray, if you will, is serving the community. It has to be serving from a place of the heart, where our interest is the person, right? The client, the customer, the friend, the family, the whatever. Like, we are just coming from a place of the heart where we want to help if you want our help, right? And that when we serve from that place, that's kind of how that's the pray part, if you will.
Beautiful.
Well, hopefully we caught that. Anyways, we'll add some more stuff in the comments by all means. But all right, well, we're going to wrap this up because we're having so much fun with our technology today. And but for all those that are still listening or tapping in later, I want you to think about, are you prey or are you predator in your business? How is your approach? And not that one is better, or, you know, it's not about judgment. It's just about, how do you operate? That's all. It's a question. Reflect. Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Carole.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.